Hello, streaming to you live. I'm Gordon with Unlock Your Bioenergy. Today is Monday, June 15th, 2026. And today I want to talk about a few things. One being it's day number 424, wearing the incredible X39. And the countdown is still on to my 50th birthday. 96 days are left. Today's workout's going to be a 9-minute warm-up with pull day exercises. And I will be doing some different things today. So tune in, stick around. It's going to be good. And then I will touch on the subject, where I'm going to talk a little more about IR. And I have a short little presentation for you. It's very quick, only a few minutes. And let's get started. So the heart rate monitor I'm going to use is here. So I will show it on screen here. And I will also take the incredible X49. So I'm going to place one here. And the second one, which is here, right there. So on my wrists, and have a little bit of water. And every workout that I do it fasted. So essentially, no food. Anything that I've eaten was already from yesterday. So all digested out, more or less. And the only thing that I'll have is water. That's it. And a pinch of salt. So, with today's session, I'm going to switch the screens here so you're going to see. I've got the pace of 228 here that I did on Saturday. I'm not going to go that fast today. I think I'll set 150. So that'll be the tempo, the skipping tempo. All right. And then timer, I said 9 minutes. I'll do a warm-up. Yeah, I'll do it this way today. So, I'll grab a trusty rope. There's a heart rate. And let's begin. So, with this here, we're going to skip at the tempo of 150. So it's a little bit of a brisk pace. Not as fast as what I did on Friday, or on Saturday for that matter. So you can see that I'm following the tempo of the metronome. Really? X49's falling out. Oh yeah. I tried for a double. Haha! Really? good. So for today's exercises, yeah, I'll do this here. So if you have anchors like I do here, I like to utilize the anchors a specific way. So with this one here, I'm putting purple bands and attaching a ankle strap here, and then on the other one here, attaching it, making it nice and even. And so with this here, I'm going to crisscross the bands in front of me and lean a little bit forward and then do a traditional style pull-up, but with the added vibration disturbance. So it's going to create how do you say, disruptions in the movement. So basically it's kind of like mimicking this. So basically if someone's holding a band and you're towing it or you're pulling it, and the idea behind training with the vibration is basically if you have a trainer that's doing this, touching the band and basically creating a change in the tension. If you were to look at it from a XY graph curve, and doing it this way creates more muscle activation. So here I am taking the left side and attaching it to the right elbow, and then I'm taking the right side and attaching it to the left elbow. And with this here, I'm going to sit down and lean a little bit forward, and I have tension at the very top here. So with the crisscross, so you have to pull them apart a little bit, and that mimics having tension as if you're holding onto a bar. So that's the idea behind it. So if you can't do pull-ups for 3 minutes straight, then this is a good alternative for that, and you're going to still work the back muscles. All right, so with that here, so I'm holding it like as if I'm doing an iron cross, essentially having the bands pull on the elbows. It forces the lats to do the work. So here, this is where the tension is. And then, you can do explosives. And with type explosives, basically is targeting the type 2 muscle fibers in the area that you're training. And depending on your genetic makeup, you might have a higher percentage of type 2 fibers versus type 1 or skeletal. So it's good to try to target all of those fibers, all the different ones. So here I'm slowly moving the elbow through its range of movement, and with the bands, they're pulling on the muscle, and with the vibration acting as the agitator, as if I have a trainer here tapping the bands with their hand, creating this feeling. So, and then you can change that by doing explosive linear movement. And by having the bands crisscrossed and putting tension right here, I can feel it all the way up. All right, it's good. The next variation is going to be a chin-up variation, so as if I'm doing a straight arm cable pull down. So, but I'm just going to attach the bands onto my elbows, and that way it really focuses and it takes the wrist flexion out of the movement, because if the weight is uncomfortable for you, especially for the lat muscles, then your wrists are likely to flex. And when that occurs, then you're taking the tension off the lats, moving that tension elsewhere. So here, basically, the tension is at the very top, or I feel the tension here. So, and that is mimicking as if I'm doing a regular chin-up. So I can lean forward and then almost parallel with the ground. Maybe I'm somewhere around the realm of 45 degrees angle, I guess. And by this here, I'm pushing on the elbows down, and I can feel the rhomboids being activated as well. So it's a slight, you can combine this together. So you have throw down. So this is working the different areas of the back. So I said the rhomboid and the scapula, and you can change the position of your shoulders to change the feel and rotate in between. But you don't want to go too far out, because then you go back to working like the first exercise. So you want to keep the focus on the rhomboid area by doing the straight arm and the scapula. But because you're not doing a chin-up with your grip, you take the bicep out, and I want to focus straight. I can feel it in the traps now, the top part of the traps. So and the bands keep tugging. They want to pull your elbows up, and you want to squeeze them down. So this is a good way of building your tolerance and your strength if you can't lift your own weight. So, and then you can get into weighted dips and so forth after the fact, but if you really want to focus on your grip strength, I think one day I'm going to try that too. So because I'm holding it here, my hands are just loose, and keeping the focus on the back. Alright, so now with the rows, this is where I'm going to change my position, and I'm going to lean backwards a little bit. So basically keeping the bands anchored to my elbows, as you see, and I'm just going to lean backwards now. So instead of forward, backwards. So, and here the bands want to pull my shoulders towards the wall, and it forces you to activate the lower back too, like this, so you're doing like a reverse Nordic. So it becomes a complex. I could do this another way by having the bands anchored to a lower part on the wall, or the anchor points in front of me. But doing it this way, it gives a different feel. So you want to make sure that you tighten your hips, and you hold your position nice and straight here. So letting the bands pull your elbows towards the ceiling and holding it isometrically all the way through. Explosive. This here just, I need to readjust it. So by anchoring your elbows behind your torso, you're getting that full range of movement on the lat. And this is where you want to hang, kind of in the range of movement on the latter part. Explosives. Again, try to keep yourself stiff. Nice and straight, steady. Oh, and I just see I got a tear here. These purple bands are coming to an end. Oh. That kind of disappoints me a little bit. Maybe I can try to fix it. We'll see. But I'll show you here. Saddens me a little bit. Alright, next exercise is pronation curls. So for this one here, I'm going to do something different versus what I've done in previous weeks. And you'll see why here. This is where I'm going to take, I've got a black band here with two anchors, right? And the anchors, door anchors, are going to go under my feet. And I've got the I've got ankle straps that are wrapped around twice to make them smaller. And with that, there's a specific reason, because the way I'm going to hold this, I wonder if I can do it this way. Yeah, maybe it's... So the idea... Okay. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'm going to take the vibration plate, place it somewhere in the center here. And the reason being is because for this pronation curl, I'm going to hold the bands this way, but I'm going to do a combination type of movement where, okay. So basically what I'm going to do is curl it up like this. That's what I'm going to do. Yeah, just a little bit more to the left. Just a little bit. That way I have kind of similar tension for both the right and left hand. So with this setup here, I'm taking the door stops, going to put them underneath my feet. Make sure I grab the remote here. And then kind of even out the bands, so I have the slack on them. So kind of the same here. Oh, I wonder if I can reach that. No, I won't be able to reach it. And what I'm going to do is just lower this, reduce the slack out of the band by moving the anchor point closer to my feet. Come on, don't do that. Oh, I could just reach it. Thankfully, I could do that. Okay, so with that, this is going to go here like this. And then take this off. Like this. It's a little bit cumbersome. And the reason being because you have to kind of anchor it like this, so you see how it's going, right? So I'm going to do a bicep curl plus pronation at the same time. So that's the idea behind this. Oops. So first one I said is pronation, right? Yeah, pronation's first. All right. So, with that here, and then turn it like this. And hold it isometrically. So, the bands are pulling on the bicep. And I'm using a 19-pound band. And because the straps can move, so what I'm doing is actually at the very bottom, I'm flexing the triceps and then activating the bicep and working the pronation while the bicep is still active or activated. pronate. All right, now I'm going to switch to doing a supinated variation of this, and with that I'm just going to crack this band here. Okay. And, oh, seriously? Let's see if I can reach that one. No, that one's farther away. Huh. Oh. All right. So, we're going to do this here. I said I did pronation, now I'm going to be supination. So, that's going to be, the grip is going to be over like this here, and we're going to supinate up. So this is kind of like a real 3D version or variation of making sure you work the pronators, or now the supination. So while the tension is being on. So with these ankle straps, it allows my wrist to spin nicely while still maintaining the tension. So it's really different, and I can feel the tension. It may not, my hands may not be moving that much, but I can feel the activation from the vibration in the muscle. So here I have to actually, the chest kind of gets involved a little bit as well in the lower pectoral because of the stabilization. So this one almost becomes like a really functional type. Okay, so flex the tricep. Now rotate through. Keep the elbows tight. And because the ankle straps are on the wrist, it keeps the tension on the bicep while still allowing the wrist to flex or rotate through the pronation and the supination areas. Alright, so that is my new, how would you say, variation of bicep curls. Whew. I might try next week putting it on, hooking the same end, so that way it's on the same anchor point, so it's like this kind of thing. But doing it the way I did, it actually keeps it kind of comfortable in a way where the skin, my skin is not being like really, there's not a lot of friction, best way to describe it, from the strap itself when I'm rotating between supination and pronation, meanwhile still having the tension on the bicep while rotating in there. So it's really a functional type of movement, and quite good. I like it actually, after trying it for the very first time. So the last exercise is going to be doing the, I can't remember if I put one or two of these guys, and bear with me here. What I'm doing is creating a, and this is the version I'm going to use for the forearms. So typically I create this setup to do a preacher curl, but today, since I've done 6 minutes worth of preachers already, or kind of similar bicep work, I do have the pump. So I could essentially do a preacher curl variation. So I have it, hold it up here and then rotate, work the forearm. But today I want to just focus on the forearms itself for the very last exercise. So for this one here, I'm going to take 15-pound weights, and the reason being, oh yeah, okay, I guess I really don't need to, because this is going to be up higher. Yeah, I changed my mind. So instead of using, I'll just put this back. I gotta do it anyway. So couldn't remember what the scenario was with this variation. Oh yes, and you turn yourself off. So with this variation, basically, the idea is to, this is what I need to do. So I'm going to take the 15-pound weights and just hold them like this and flex them through. So the idea is to use the vibration to activate the forearm and then rotate it through. So using 15-pound weights, and by sitting in the exercise ball, it makes it nice and comfortable. So and you kind of have to, I'm using stabilizer muscles in the hip as well, so this becomes kind of a functional exercise as well. So here I am rotating, so I could lower my And the idea is to improve my grip strength. So that way when I'm doing the dead man hangs, I develop stronger. So doing this here is increasing the blood flow to the forearm muscles. Holding it isometrically. And there's a lot of activation that's happening. So now I'm going to switch. And you could rotate this too, you know, to work between the supination and the pronation as well. So this is a really interesting way of doing this here. And you can't go too heavy on this because the amount of activation that's happening with the vibration, it's really forcing the muscle to fire within its full range of movement. So here I'm holding it at the very bottom, holding and moving it up. Gosh, oh my. Very, very good. Very effective way of targeting the forearm muscles. Very, very good. All right, so let's have a look at so total 40 minutes. So kind of gives you an idea of how much time I actually spend. So today's date stamp is June 15th, 2026. Starting time was at 2:22 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And maximum heart rate I hit today, huh? Interesting. Now, this week, last week and this week thus so far has been very kind of interesting for me because my maximum heart rate is staying much lower than previous weeks. And so when I look at here, you can see how, you know, there's a steady kind of average increase in my heart rate during the 9 minutes. And in the latter part here, so the first 6.5 minutes was kind of like, okay, I have a little bit and then a little drip. And then here it just kind of stayed more consistent, more linear. And that was the last 2.5 minutes where I was trying to do unbroken crisscrosses. So, you know, just keep going and during that time, my breathing rate was actually really pretty calm. I like if I had the VO2 max equipment, you would see how much I'm actually breathing, and it wasn't very much, to be honest, because I'm still pretty relaxed when I'm doing that. So even though it's a pretty aggressive pace. And then it's interesting to see here how there's a big peak in heart rate there. And then again, you know, it climbs up again and then it climbs up again here. So, and then again here. So, my body goes through periods of strong oxygenation and other time not so much. So it's very dependent on how much I'm actually breathing. So, but also too, how long it takes for the water to to absorb into the body. So when I think about if I think about a 15-minute window, because usually that's about how long it takes for the deuterium depleted water to absorb. And my recovery after the 9 minutes here dropped relatively quickly, or my heart rate recovered quickly. And then, when I'm doing the exercises, it stays here. There's quite a few. So that's like 75. That's resting heart rate when I'm doing these exercises. So that's telling me that my body or my cardiovascular system is very good at delivering oxygen even after the fact of doing the cardio. And I think it shows too when I do the Feel It Friday. So on Friday itself, I actually set a new personal best for that particular workout and when I say personal best, the overall time, which was 6 seconds faster than my previous quickest time. So that for me was a good thing, because I did push the pace, and because I was feeling motivated, and it reflected in the end result. So I look forward to the next one, and progressing, becoming faster, essentially. And when you push faster, that means your muscle has less time to recover, and especially if you're doing back-to-back face cards, as I did in the Feel It Friday. So there was periods of time where there was lots of push-ups, and they're all kind of together. So is my body, am I able to cope with that activity? Yeah, I am, and it's a very good thing in my mind. So, which brings me to the last thing I wanted to talk about today, which was the hi Phil. Presentation, which was, what did I say? Let's talk more about IR. And IR is short for infrared. And today I have a short little presentation where someone that's much younger than me, is talking about infrared. And this is a good thing, because it's showing that there is value in what I'm saying. So let's have a listen. So, the sunlight, only a small percentage has UVA and UVB, whereas the rest is infrared. So, is there benefits to utilizing the X39, which reflects that infrared light that your body emits by saying it taps you on the shoulder like this and it reflects it back like a mirror? And when that reflection occurs, that's when the body receives the tap on the shoulder, aka the signal like the infrared light that you get from the sun. And it says, hey, turn on that collagen production. Hey, turn on that GHK production, the synthesization. And the GHK requires those three amigos. Those are the three amino acids: glycine, histidine, and lysine, as I show here. You see on the bottom left there for X39, X39 is what activates the GHK, tripeptide production in the body. And that's when you need to have the fuel: glycine, histidine, and lysine. Those are amino acids that are in proteins. And so when your body gets the tap on the shoulder from wearing the X39, as you see me wearing here, okay, so I don't have to worry about being outside in the sun. If you're working night shift all the time and you're sleeping in the dark because you need to sleep or you can't sleep, well then maybe this is your friend that will help you get the rest that you need, but will help with your circadian rhythm, most importantly, because to get the therapeutic effects from the sun, the infrared, specifically the infrared. Now, if you're not getting exposure to the sunlight, well then you might need to get exposure from your own light that your body's emitting. And don't tell me that your body doesn't emit infrared light, because if I put on night vision goggles, I can see you in the dark running around. Right? That's what military use to hunt people down that they're looking for. They can see you. And that is the infrared light that your body is emitting. So, if you think you don't have it, you're sadly mistaken. Now, you can power that infrared light, making sure that you have the cleanest and most absorbable water that you can drink. I prefer to drink deuterium depleted water with a hydrogen bond angle of 114 degrees, making it the cleanest and most absorbable version of H2O. But most importantly, there's no radioactivity within the hydrogen itself at the isotope level. And that is the key to having strong infrared light being produced inside your body. And the reason why I know this is because that infrared light, like the energy, when I go to turn off my alarm clock in the morning, when it's trying to wake me up, and I put my hand close to the alarm clock, and go, and then I move my hand away, and that disruption from the presence of my hand disappears, because I can hear it in the audio, of which I've played the recordings. So if you go back and watch some of the episodes where I talk about that, you'll hear it. I've got the receipts. So it is a real thing. Now, since our bodies are also electric, in order to unlock that bioenergy, you want to make sure that you're consuming proper salt, not table salt that's refined and there's only sodium chloride in it. That's not, no. You want to have unrefined, so naturally formulated salt that's got your 3 forms of magnesium in it, and those 3 magnesiums are water hungry. They love to drink the water. And so when you have the cleanest and most absorbable version of H2O in your body, and then the magnesium is there, and guess what happens? Now that magnesium is going to be in cells, and it's going to absorb that water. and turn into, good muscle. Look it, I'm not consuming any creatine monohydrate. None. Nor am I consuming any whey protein. None. Nor am I consuming any peptides that you inject by way of needle. None. I'm just eating regular foods. Am I reaping the benefits from increased strength? Because you'll never be able to outtrain a bad diet. I don't care who you are. You'll never be able to outtrain a bad diet. It's been this way for the longest of time, and it will always be this way. But what you can do is power your body and activate it the way God intended. This is one way. If you're living in a cave, or if you're working on a submarine, because this is essentially what it was designed for. The military, the Navy. ENR Spark was the first. And basically what it does is that it focuses on the process of beta oxidation inside the body, where it's using fat storages to help keep you awake, your body awake. And instead of relying on beta alanine and other caffeinated products, it's using your body's natural ability. So again, the ENR Spark reflects the light, specific wavelengths of light within the infrared spectrum that tap the body in the shoulder and says, hey, you got to do something. And is it a good thing? Well, when you want to experience the benefits, you got to pull the trigger right there. And I'm a registered brand partner with LifeWave. So if you were exploring other options, let's say you're trying to save money because you don't have it, well then be very careful, because Amazon and Walmart are not authorized distributors of this. Nor this. Nor this. Nor this. So be very careful with how you go about acquiring the technology to unlock your bioenergy. And if you're interested in the water because you get lots of sunlight, well then that I tell you how to acquire it. I do not make a single penny telling you about it. Not one. And I'm okay with that, because I have respect for the man behind the invention. He's an old school businessman, and he knows what he has. And has it influenced my health for the long term? You bet. You better believe it, because there's no coincidence that drinking the water for 5 years and then adding the X39 and the X49 has done something for the better. I know my VO2 numbers are strong, and I'm going to get third-party testing to show you that what I'm saying is actually legitimate and there's credibility behind what I'm saying. And I've got 300 episodes now to prove that. So when you're ready, power your DNA with the best. You can try it risk-free. And tell me what you think. So that's it for today. Tomorrow is Tacky Tuesday. It will be push exercises, and it's going to be another good day. So always remember, eat well, sleep well, and last but not least, congratulations to the Carolina Hurricanes who won the Stanley Cup. And seeing Jordan Staal lift the Stanley Cup, being the oldest player, at 37 years old, to lift it. That's it's pretty impressive, and makes me wonder what he's doing, if he's using the X39 too. So, but he lives in a sunny southern U.S. So I'm sure he gets lots of sunlight, throughout the year. So perhaps maybe it's just the water that he's adding to his regiment. So, but anyhow, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good night. Bye for now.